Hey guys, welcome back. Good morning, good afternoon, whatever time you're watching this video. This is video number 3 of math. We're going to continue our talk about adding and subtracting big numbers. Let's dive in. Here we have 2b.
Please open up your books.
We have 4,125,171. Adding to 2,553,416. Add them together. Again, the most important part is to line them up. Remember, we're working in our blue books. You need to try this in your blue books to get the answer. Start with your ones. 6 plus 1 is 7. 7 plus 1 is 8. 4 plus 1 is 5. Comma. 5 plus 3 is 8. 5 plus 2 is 7. This is really easy so far. 5 plus 1 is 6. Comma, because we're going to jump into our millions. 4 plus 2 is 6. So for this one, we didn't even need to carry any of the digits into the next column. Easy. Let's take a look at the last one. All right, so we have two big numbers again. This is 2C. 2,809,434 plus 1,990,099. We're going to add them together, starting at the right. 9 plus 4 is 13. So I'm going to take the 3, carry the 1. 9 plus 3 is 12, plus 1 more is another 13. Carry the 1. 4 plus 1 is 5. No need to carry, but we should put our comma right here. Okay? 9 plus 0 is just 9. 9 plus 0 again, also 9. 9 plus 8 is 17. So we're going to put the 7 here and carry the 1 over to the millions. Okay? Don't forget your comma. 2 plus 1 is 3. Plus 1 is 4. So our answer for the last problem on Do and Learn is 4,799,533. So now what I want you guys to do is try this all by yourself. The more that we practice, the easier they're going to be, and the better you'll do on tests and grade 5, 6, 7, all the way up until you're an adult. You're going to be using stuff like this your whole life. So don't ask, teacher, when are we going to need this? Always. You're always going to need to know how to do this. So what we need to do is practice so it's super easy to do over and over again. Okay? So what I would like you to do is please do page 59. This is going to be homework. What I want you to do is complete it, take a picture, and have your parents send it to me online. Okay? Thank you.
Homework alert! Homework alert!
All right, guys, so like I explained in earlier videos, math is a way to build and then deconstruct or take apart. So we've already learned addition, and then the opposite of that, the reverse of that, is going to be subtraction or minus. Later, we're going to do multiplication, which is times, and then the reverse of that is division. Math works like this as you get more and more advanced. Then you'll learn weird stuff like this, like exponents and the reverse, square roots. Don't worry about this. It's going to be a couple more years until you learn that, okay? But my whole point is that we're going to learn how to build something, and then we're going to learn how to take apart something. And that's all addition versus subtraction is, okay? So now we're going to look at subtraction of big numbers up to 1 million. Okay, so let's take a look. I am on page 61 in our books, and this is going to be subtraction. Let's take a look. So let's recall what we've already learned in grade 3. So I'm going to use red just so you know that that is the number we're going to take away from the original number. And this is a minus sign or subtraction. This is what you use to show that you're going to subtract a number from a bigger number, okay? So here's what we have on page 60, so we can try to remember what we learned last year. So this works exactly the same way as subtraction. You start from the ones and then move over to the tens, hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and millions. It's also the same where you need to line up all of your numbers up and down so you can see it clearly and understand it, okay? So we're gonna start with our ones, and they're gonna give us probably an easy number to work with where we don't need to carry over into other columns, okay? 7 minus 6 is just 1. Easy enough. 3 take away 1 is just 2. 5 take away 4 is just 1. Don't forget your commas. And then 4 take away 3 is just 1. 6 take away 2 is 4. So our answer is 41,121. This one was very easy because we don't have to worry about maybe this is a 3 instead of a 5. And you can't take away 4 from 3. You have to borrow. So let's take a look at that in our next problem. I'm on page 61 now, so make sure you're following along in your book. Let's take a look at an easy one. This is the one on top of page 61. So, just like addition, I'm going to line them up perfectly, and I'm going to put the big number on top and the small number on the bottom. This is very important when you think about whether or not you wrote the problem down right or not. If the number is smaller on top than the bottom number, you probably wrote it down wrong, because otherwise it would give you a negative number. And that's not something we're learning about quite yet, okay? So for now, make sure that the big number is on top and the smaller number is on bottom. And we know this because we learned we look from the left to the right to find out which number is bigger. In this case, the hundred thousands column, remember you can block everything else. What is bigger, 7 or 4? The 7, right? So this is our bigger number. It doesn't matter what's right here, because in the 100,000 spot, your 7 is bigger than your 4, and your 7 is on top, okay? Don't forget what we already learned. We learned those things to help us to do problems like this, okay? So let's take a look. Remember, for addition and subtraction, we start with our ones column. 8 minus 7, that's easy, it's just 1. 6 minus 2 is 4. 6 minus 5 is 1. Keep that consistent. Don't forget your comma. All right, and then 4 minus 1, magic tricks, is 3. 9 minus 3 is 6. And then 7 minus 4, that leaves us with 3, okay? All of our commas are in the right spot. We have 363,141, okay? So this big number, let's say you buy a new car and you have this much money in your account. You have almost 800,000 baht. Then you buy a car, right? And the car costs 431,527. The question is, how much money will I have left after I have bought the car? And the answer is 363,141 baht, okay? So these numbers are good just to know, but it's easier if you think about how you can use them in real life. You gotta know how much money is in your bank account. Otherwise, you might try to buy something and there's 0, 0, 0. You have no money left. So it's important to know how to subtract. Okay, so I want to take a step outside of the book and teach you guys something, because not always does somebody say, what is 100 minus 10? That's easy to write down. Sometimes when we're talking, we use words like subtract 10 from 100. You need to know how to set these problems up. So if you subtract a number from a number, which number goes on top? Well, you're taking away, or you're minusing 10. And sometimes this sentence can be confusing. So subtract 10, which means take away 10 from whatever number you start with. So this would actually be 100 minus 10, okay? Another way, like we just talked about, is if you spend money. If you spend a number, then you're taking the 10 away from what you started with, okay? So this would be whatever number you start with. We'll say 100, just to keep it the same, minus 10. So this is another way that you might see or hear a subtraction problem. Let's say you went to the market and money fell out of your pocket. You had 110 bahts, right? You had 110 piece coins that are bahts, and you drop one of them. So you lose 10 from your original 100. That's also going to be 100 minus 10. So this one is weird because it says your original number and then take away. So you have 100 and you take away 10. This is also going to be 100 minus 10. So when it asks a question, think about what's the original number, or the number you start with, versus what is going to be taken from that number. You might see sentences like this. We'll talk about more as time goes on. So what if I said subtract 2,473,680 from, when I say from, that means your original, 9,564,623. Okay, so that second number is what we're going to be taking away from. So that number is going to go on top, like this. Okay, and remember, we're going to be taking away about 2.5 million from this original number. Okay, so let's go ahead and put that on the board, like this. Okay, so we have the big number on top and the smaller number on the bottom. Okay, let's go ahead and go through this together. We'll start with the ones. 3 minus 0. 3 take away nothing is just 3. Okay? 2 take away 8. Now, can we do this? No. So what we're actually going to do is just like addition, where we bring the number to the 100s, we're actually going to take 100 and bring it down here. Okay? So we're going to take one of these away. And in order to do that, we need to make this a 5. Okay? So we're going to take that away and then add the 100 here. So this 2 is now going to be 12 tens. Stay with me. Technically it's 120, but it's 12 tens. Okay? So this number is now 12. We'll cross that out. 12 minus 8. So we're going to borrow 100 and make it into 10 tens. But we already have the 2 here. So it's now 12 tens. Now we can take this 8 away from the 12 tens. Because remember, this is 8 tens. I know it's confusing, but it makes sense. All we're doing is just borrowing one digit from here and bringing it over here. So this 2 is now just a 12. Okay? Now, a lot of people will just memorize that you take 1 from here and bring it here, but I wanted to explain exactly what is going on mathematically. So you can just take away this 6, make it a 5, and bring 1 in front of your 2 to make it a 12. That's what a lot of people do, but I wanted you to understand that the 1 doesn't come from just nowhere. It's actually being borrowed from the hundreds place, okay? So now it's 12 tens. Or you can just say 12, because 12 minus 8 is much easier. So what is 12 minus 8? So that would be 3, okay? But now we have a 5 here again, and you can't subtract 6 from 5. So we're gonna borrow another 1,000, so let's get rid of this. So we're gonna borrow one of these, okay? So we're gonna put a 1 right here. 9. Okay, don't forget your comma. All right, but since we borrowed one of those thousands, this needs to become a 3, okay? So I'll put it right up here. So now we have 3 thousands minus 3 thousands, which is just 0, okay? It's okay if this was hard for you to understand. I'm gonna do it again just so you guys can start to see a little more clear, okay? Now let's move over to our 10,000s. Can you subtract 7 from 6? No. So what we're gonna do is borrow one of these. So I'm gonna take away this and make it a 4, okay? And I'm gonna add, it's gonna be a 16. Now can you subtract the 7 from the 16? Sure, that's just gonna be 9. Okay? But now we have 4 minus 4. So it's not 5 minus 4 because we took one of those 100,000s and gave it to the 10,000s. So it's just 4 minus 4. So 0. All right, don't forget your commas. All right, and then we're just left with 9 minus 2. And 9 minus 2 is just 7. Okay guys, that's all for video number 3. We did it. We're at the end of our 15 minutes. So you guys can turn this off now and go play or do your videos for the next class. All right, bye-bye.